Hi, it's Vex, and today we have another EDH deck tech, of course. What else do you expect from me right now? We have from Modern Horizon, Lonis, I'm calling Lonis. Cryptozoologist, that's right, we have a Cryptozoologist. Green and a blue, that's right, 2 CMC, or otherwise known as mana value, that's right. And it's a legendary creature, Snake Elf Scout, triple. But the important part is an elf. You'll see in a moment. So this commander has whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, investigate. So it makes clues. All about making these little clue tokens. That's right. Creature ETBs, make some clues. See what else Lonis does. Sack X clues. Target opponent reveals top X cards of their library. You may put a non-land permanent card with mana value X or less from among them onto the battlefield under your control. Then you put the rest on the bottom. So, if you know me and you've seen some of my deck techs and seen things I've liked, I absolutely love stealing my opponent's stuff. Bam, second line. Man, I love tokens. I mean, everybody loves tokens, but I love tokens. And guess what? This is tokens and stealing somebody else's stuff. I mean, how much better is that? So, we have Lonis from Modern Horizons 2, insane. Again, clues have value too, right? You can sack a clue, draw a card. Pay 2, sack, draw a card. So our commander wants us to make clues. How do we make clues? We make clues by having other creatures ETB. Of course, we want other creatures to ETB multiple times to make multiple clues. So we'll get to that. But another very important card that came from Modern Horizons. Let's put this right here. Is our good friend Academy Manufactor. That's right. We love tokens, and this is a super spicy one. It says, costs 3 colorless. If you would create a clue, food, or treasure token, instead create one of each. So, if you have Academy Manufactor out in Lonis, when you investigate, you would make a clue, but now you'd make a clue, food, and treasure. So that's super cool. So. And this deck is built around mainly trying to get this onto the battlefield because I just love doing cool stuff. This is one of the coolest cards. It's like a game objects card, makes tons of game objects. Is to get this on the battlefield, combine it with Lonis, and go to town. If you have Lonis out in the battlefield, like turn 2, turn 3, you play this, you will get a clue of food and treasure because this will be on the battlefield. This will trigger Lonis, and then you'll create all 3. So that's cool. So how do you find your friend Academy Manufactor? You do Whir of Invention, which lets you improvise, get things from your library, put it onto the battlefield. And then with your clue tokens, you can improvise with those clue tokens to get Academy Manufactor. Right there. You could fabricate. You could just search for an artifact and put in your hand and play it. I know it's a 6-mana line, but it is a tutor. So fabricate is the way to go. Here. Trophy Mage is another tutor. It's better than Fabricate because it's a creature. Search your library for an artifact card. Convert mana cost 3. Exactly 3. So mana value 3. Reveal it. Put in your hand. So, but this gives you a creature that can trigger Lonis. Finale Devastation. I tend to not have too many creature tutors because it does make the deck a little redundant. I usually have a lot of creature tutors in green for Bane of Progress because I love punishing people for having too many artifacts. Yes, Bane of Progress would destroy us big time because we have an artifact creator and one of our main creatures is an artifact. But Finale Devastation lets us tutor our graveyard and library. Don't forget graveyard. So if somebody kills our Academy Manufactor, you can get it back with Finale Devastation. Inventor's Fair. We're going to have a lot of artifacts, so we're going to go searching with Inventor's Fair. That's a hard way to search, but it is a way. So we have 5 ways to tutor for Academy Manufactor. Also, you could draw it naturally too. That could happen. So that is our tutor package for Manufactor. Put this under here. Now, we also have bouncing. So the idea is we want to play our creatures, want to bounce our creatures, play it again, so get max value off Lonis, generate those maximum amount of clues we can, and then sacrifice max amount of clues. I usually don't recommend sacrificing any less than 4 clues because if you sack 1 clue, you only look at 1 card. I would barely sack 4 clues unless Lonis is on its way out. then you're like, okay, I just sacked 4 clues before I return to command zone. I recommend 6 because you get to dig deeper, such like that. Unless you know the top card, and if the top card is 1 CMC, then you just sack 1 clue. But hopefully the opponent won't like do that, won't give you that information. But who knows? They might do it. Anyways, so bouncing creatures back to your hand and replaying them is a good way to re-trigger Lonis. A good way right here to bounce creatures is Wirewood Symbiote. You can only do it once a turn. We can do it once each person's turn, so 4 times around. And you return elf you control to his owner's hand, untap target creature. So you can untap a mana dork. You return another elf you control, untap Lonis, sack the clue ability. You know, you can essentially the thing you want to do is just return an elf. Lonis is an elf, so you can technically protect your elf. Somebody's points Assassin's Trophy at Lonis. You can just return Lonis to your hand and untap target creature. You can target the symbiote itself as the ability. Shrieking Drake, old school card from Visions. I'm not sure if it's been reprinted, but essentially it's a 1/1 flying man, 1 blue, 1/1 flying. But when it enters the battlefield, return a creature you control to owner's hand, so it can actually return itself. This is really good in true lane. You play it for 1 mana, you return it, you play it, you return it, you play it, return it. So each 1 mana generates 1 clue. So extremely good. Or you return something else that's in like an ETB effect to your hand. I did forget to mention that because we're returning a lot of things to our hands, we want a lot of creatures with ETB effects that generate value. So they generate value going down, you return it, they generate value again going down. Of course, Lonis generates value already. Dreamstalker is not like a Shrieking Drake. Shrieking Drake is one of the most important cards. You can Finale of Devastation for Shrieking Drake. Dreamstalker ETB, return a permanent you control to his owner's hand. It costs 2. So for every 2 mana, you could do the bouncing trick, but Shrieking Drake is so much better because it costs 1 mana. Teamer Sabertooth doesn't return itself, but can return other creatures, can give itself indestructible, so that's good. So those are the creature returning things. We can also do Blinking. Blinking does trigger Cryptozoologist because it's not a cast trigger, it's a ETB trigger. So Thassa right here can sit on the battlefield, and then at the end of being your end step, you exile creature, put it back. Right there. Of course, the signpost card for Blinking, Deadeye Navigator. People really wanted this card banned. Now it's barely played, but it's still good in this deck. Deadeye Navigator. Ooh, another bounce card. I totally forgot about this card. It's even in the deck too. Crystal Shard. So this can be used offensively, defensively. You pay 3 or a blue, usually a blue because it's much cheaper. Return target creature's owner's hand unless its controller pays 1. Now, you can always say, I'll pay 1 blue, Crystal Shard, I'll return my Wirewood Symbiote to my hand. I will not pay the 1, of course. Return it to your hand. This does have a mana cost, mana value of 3, so you can get it the other ways that you get Academy Manufactor. Right there, so you got 5 ways to bounce, 2 ways to blink. Pretty good. Then we have our value creatures that we want to return to our hand over and over again, replay over and over again, get value. These are the card draw value engines, Coiling Oracle. This also has 3 creature types, Snake, Elf, Druid. So as a Snake, Elf, Scout, Snake, Elf, Druid can be returned Wirewood Symbiote. Right here, you draw a card, essentially draw a card or put a land onto the battlefield. Elvish Visionary, another elf, draw a card. ETB, draw a card. Llanowar Visionary, ETB, draw a card, and is a mana dork. So you could use the Wirewood Symbiote ability to untap this one or return it to your hand. Let's gain some value. Let's just put these right there. Gain some value here. Hydroid Krasis is a cast trigger, but if you return it to your hand, you could just cast it over and over again, draw some cards. So I really like Hydroid Krasis because it has so much value, and even if it gets countered, you still get to draw the cards. You're playing Simic. I mean, Earl, Titan of Nature's Raft, still good. Even though, you could play it, sack it, go to a graveyard, escape it, return to your hand, do all the things. Earl's just a good card, right? Draws you some cards. Mole Drifter is, if you want to blink or return to hand, Mole Drifter is the one you want to go for. Blinking is obviously better, but Mole Drifter, return to your hand, replaying it for another 2. It's pretty good. Soul of the Harvest. This isn't a ETB draw cards, but it's a ETB of other creatures draw card, so not itself. So really good. You have this on here. You return these creatures back. You replay them. Essentially, these 2. You make a clue, draw a card. It's amazing. Other ETB triggers here. Token that makes tokens. Wave Sifter. It's kind of like Mold Drifter, but it's called Wave Sifter. ETB, investigate twice. And then you can invoke it for 2 mana, not 3. So a little Wave Sifter is like a flying elemental. Tireless Tracker, classic one. Landfall, investigate. It makes clues. And then when you sack a clue, put a +1/+1 counter on Tireless Tracker. Now remember, you can sacrifice clues from Lonis and put counters from Tireless Tracker. Tireless Tracker is a very important card. Very good card here. Then we have what they call Tireless Snacker, because it makes food. Landfall, create a food or treasure. So now both these work with our Academy Manufactor. Thief. So we want to steal stuff, as you can see. Thieving Skydiver, one of my favorite cards from Zendikar Rising. You can steal stuff. If you return it to your hand, you can kick it again, steal more things. It's the Soul Ring Stealer. And yes, I've stolen many Soul Rings with this, and yes, it feels that good. Agent Treachery. This costs a lot, but you can blink, return to your hand, steal permanently. And then cool, it has another little thing here that happens sometimes, rarely, but at the beginning of your end step, if you control 3 or more permanents you don't own, draw 3 cards. Right there. So those are our stealing ones. Then we have some removal, counter spells. You got Wreck Sage, good to blink, good to return to hand, play again. Anthem Mutineer, good to exile some creatures that you don't ever want to see again. Right there. Frilled Mystic, counter some spells along with Mystic Stink. Right there, counter some more spells. Again, it's really cool to blink or return to your hand. Graveyard Shenanigans, some value right here. E-Witness, Eternal Witness. Right there. Get some stuff back from your graveyard. Dies, get your Manufactor back. Manufactor is very important in this deck because this is cool. Treasures ramps you. Glasspool Mimic. You can play this as a clone of something, get the ETB value, return it back to your hand. You could play on the other side as a land in a pinch. Glasspool Shore. So it's really good here. We have some clue synergies in our deck. Right here we have Tamiyo's Journal. Investigate, ETB at the beginning of upkeep, investigate. Sack 3 clues. Demonic Tutor. I mean, if you're like generate tons of clues with Lonis already, you play Tamiyo's Journal, you can just sack 3 clues, Demonic Tutor right away. So it's very good there. Uvenwald Mystery. Non-token creature you control dies. I wish it said left the battlefield, but we get what we get. When it dies, investigate. When you sack a clue, put a 1/1 white human soldier creature token onto the battlefield. And you sack clues through Lonis, so it's very good there. Floodhound, more clue synergies. That when I say clue synergies, clue producers. It's a 1 blue mana, so it's really good to play replay, bounce back to your hand or blink. Pay 3, it is hefty. Then you investigate. It's just cool. It's an elemental dog. It's fun to have. Now this is the card that's really cool in this deck. Next to Academy Manufactor, of course, is the Erdwald Illuminator. 1 in blue, flying. Whenever you investigate for the first time each turn, investigate an additional time. So it only doubles your first investigation. It doesn't double your, if you investigate twice, it only doubles the first one. Of course, we got tons of ETB. Saffron Olive's favorite card, Panamoricon. You want to just, ETB a couple times, 20 times, whatever. Panamoricon's your card. Now we have creatures that double tokens. I know I thought about putting this or Parallel Lives, but I'd rather have Adrix and Niv, Twin Casters, because it's got Ward. It's hard to kill because it got Ward. Well, I guess it's more mana intensive kill. It has Ward, creates twice as many tokens, and so I believe what happens is you put it on the battlefield and you have Lonis, it'll create 2 clues. So it does trigger Lonis. That's why I have it. We have another Commander 2021 card, Simic card, Essex, Fractal Bloom. So you can make clue tokens that are copies of your creatures, so it's extremely good there. We have our removal. The first removal spell, and the only removal spell that has Investigate on it, is Root Out. Right there. It's like a naturalize with Investigate. So it's pretty cool. We're playing it because it has just the word Investigate on it. Now we have their standard removal, Simic removal, which isn't a lot, but blue has got very efficient removal lately, and I really enjoy it. Pongify, Rapid Hybridization, right there. Beast Within. So it just turns everything into 3/3 thingies. Blue has the best removal ever. Cyclonic Rift. Remove everybody's permanents from the battlefield. Oversimplify. This is the one that's I think this one is super good because it's in Simic and exiles all creatures. I know it makes a creature at the end, but you can always Cyclonic Rift it back, like Baby Rift it back. Right there. We have some card draw. We have a lot of artifact synergies. So Shimmer Dragon, tap 2, untap artifacts you control, draw a card. So tap 2 clues, draw a card. If that's 4 more artifacts, hexproof. Again, we're playing creatures over and over again. We have Beast Whisperer. So whenever you cast a creature, draw a card. That's why we love bouncing. We bounce, cast, draw a card, make a clue. This is cast trigger. So you draw a card first and you make a clue. Guardian Project and ETB trigger. It does work with like Panharmonicon. Let's check Panharmonicon. Creatures, right? Artifact or creature entering the battlefield. Yes. Guardian Project works with creatures. Right there, Panharmonicon. Beast Whisperer is a cast trigger. Does not work with Panharmonicon. So just remember that. The Great Henge, great for card draw here. I mean, it's just an insane card. This card is so good. Makes your creatures bigger, lets you draw cards, generates mana. What else can you ask for? So you get Restoration. We have Mo Double Face card, just draws cards. But mostly mainly land, like 20% of the time draw cards for 80% land. But it's still good if it's there. You still could use it. Have a little protection here, like the usual fare for a Simic deck. Heroic Intervention, little protection for your clues. If anybody wants to ban progress or clues, you can Heroic Intervention, save them. Balgate Recovery, a Mo Double Face card to get your Academy Manufacturer back or whatever you need. We have another new card from Modern Horizons 2, Rise and Shine. So this is the kill you out of nowhere button. If you have like 20 clues stacked up, target non-creature artifact you control becomes a 0/0 artifact creature. Put 4+1/+1 counters on each artifact that became a creature this way. You have Overload 4 and blue. So you make all your artifacts into creatures. Remember, this is sorcery, not instant, but you can just turn all your clues into 4/4 creatures, attack for lethal, surprise win. Then we have our standard ramp package here. Got some Birds of Paradise, Arbor Elf right here, so you can play these, get some value off of Lonis, Incubation Druid, Secure Tribe Elder, Farhaven Elf, Wood Elves. I know this is weird. It's an elf and this elves. I think they used to have all the elves and they just changed it to elf just to make it simpler. All these are 6 creatures. Cost ETB triggers for Lonis and gets you some lands or mana. Abundant Harvest. This is technically like a land searcher when you need land, but when you're flooded, you can do non-land. I think Abundant Harvest, if you want more consistency in your deck, like every deck should include Abundant Harvest. Every green deck. This is such a good card to get consistency. It's always land when you want it. It's always a non-land when you want it. So it's extremely good. Costs 1 mana. Then you have your other ramp. 3 visits, Nature's Lore, Cultivate, Kadamas Reach like that. Soul Ring, of course, Artifact ramp. We have your land package. We do have the for Nature's Lore 3 visits, the Rhinewood Falls and Breeding Pool right there as your forced islands. We have some other dual lands, green duals. We have this. Tanglepool Bridge, another Modern Horizons 2. Artifact land can be searched out from Whir of Invention. Can't say that right. Inventor's Fair or whatever else that can search artifacts. So it's there for that. Other green lands. Fetch lands. Gingerbread Cabin because it generates a food with Manufacturer. It generates all. Yavimaya, of course, now. Minamo. Untapped target legendary permanent. You want to do this. Sack some more clues twice. It produces blue, so not a big deal. Wirewood Lodge, untapped target elf. Well, guess what? Our commander is an elf, and we have other elves. We'll do that. Scavenger Ground, Graveyard Hate. Gotta have Graveyard Hate, some basic lands. These are old lands reprinted into new border. Right there. So 2 of each. I love this. I forgot which one, Mirage maybe. I forgot which set they're from, but I remember seeing this land a long time ago. It was really cool. Anyways. That is our Lonis deck. We want to generate a bunch of tokens, ETB triggers, return creatures, generate clues, steal some stuff. Super duper fun. I know Simic is one of the best color pairs in the game. It's kind of crazy to think of a best color pair. It doesn't have that much removal, but you got the rapid hybridization. You got Pongify. You have new card Suspend from Modern Horizons. Super, super good. Reality Shift is still good. Cyclonic Rift. Green has card draw, creatures, everything you want. Anyways, I'm going to shuffle this deck up. But before I then, if you enjoyed this video, give the video a thumbs up, smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be alerted for when I have new videos, new deck techs, box openings, discussions, all that good stuff. I have the deck list and TCG player affiliate link in the description below. And we'll shuffle this up, and we'll be right back. All right, we are back. And before I start, if you know me, you know I love stealing people's stuff. This is a good card to play against me. Homeward Path. Each player gains control of all creatures they own. Not all permanents, all creatures. There's like a green card in Cold Snap that takes all permanents back, but play that card if you play against me in a meta. Anyways, let's start. I mean, don't play that card. I don't want to get metaed against, but that's essentially how play groups work. They meta against each other, but it's hard to meta against me, Vex, because I play tons of different decks. But the common theme is I love stealing stuff. All right, see what we got. Arbor Elf, that's good. Shrieking Drake, that's amazing. Trophy Mage, that is our Manufactor. Got some lands. Got one single forest for our Arbor Elf, which is good because untap that forest. Okay. I wish you got Breeding Pool because we could play Arbor Elf turn 1, turn 2 Lonis, then untap the Breeding Pool, play Shrieking Drake. But we don't, so it is what it is. All right, turn 1, let's go. Farhaven Elf, more ramp, and on curve for 3. Okay, so I mean, obviously we're going to play our Arbor Elf. First, I mean, we could say it for Lonis, but we got Shrieking Drake. That's the Lonis card. Turn 2. See, we draw that magical breeding pool that we wanted. That's not a breeding pool. See here, Farhaven Elf gets a basic. If this is Wood Elves, then that could get the breeding pool. So let's play our command tower here. So do we want to play Lonis or do we want to ramp? I think the answer is ramp because it gets us an extra Shrieking Drake. So if we play Lonis now, we can't Shrieking Drake, right? So next turn we could Shrieking Drake and Farhaven Elf, right? But we play Farhaven Elf now. Next turn we could Lonis and Shrieking Drake twice. So we'll still end up the same board state, but with more lands, like usable lands and options. So we do this, untap this, tap this, play Farhaven Elf. And then we have Chump Blocker if necessary. Basic, so let's get in our basic forest because we have two islands in our hand. Here. We'll end up with the same board state, but now we have a Farhaven Elf that can hypothetically attack because we're not attacking with our Lonis. The reason we did this, even if they end up with the same board state, is that wherever we draw can give us more options. And we have more mana for those options. Actually, it's the same board state, one extra mana. That's why. Yeah, I said that right. Okay. Turn 3, we'll draw a card, Rise and Shine. Okay, we'll play our island here. So now we can play our Lonis here. Okay, we now have 1, 2, 3 mana to work with. What can we do? We can do Beast Within. We can get our Manufactor, start the party. So that's what we want to do. Here. Right there. We'll tap this. We'll play Trophy Mage. We'll get a clue from Lonis. Right there. And now we're ready to go. And then each Trophy Mage ETBs. Of course, we're going to get the one thing that we care about. Our Manufactor, of course. Let's see, where's this Manufactor? There it is. Our Manufactor. I thought it was Manufacturer, but it's Manufactor. That's the thing we really care about. So that's the thing we're really going to get. Okay. Cut this deck real quick here. So we're on board. We're on board. We got some islands for Shrieking Drake. We wish we'd got more dual lands because we play. If these are islands, play more Shrieking Drakes, but we don't. So Manufactor goes to the hand. Got our island. Let's move this over here. Make room for our fun card. It's turn 4. Draw a card. So we got a bunch of stuff on board. Green, okay. We want the blue because Shrieking Drake costs blue mana. Got the tap here. So what we want to do is we essentially want to do this. Shrieking Drake is essentially free. I just realized that now. I should have said that in deck tech, but at least I caught it with Manufactor. So if you play Manufactor right here, you would just play a Shrieking Drake, bounce the Shrieking Drake to your hand. Right, you play Shrieking Drake ETB triggers. Let's trigger this one and then this one. Right, you would create a clue, but instead you create a clue, a food, and a treasure. Then you can essentially infinitely sack the treasure. So this will bounce to your hand. You can sack the treasure here. Sack the treasure so you have food and 2 clues. You can play Shrieking Drake and do this again so you have infinite food, infinite clues, right? And 1 treasure left over. Bounce to your hand, and the Shrieking Drake is in your hand. Now you have 1 treasure, infinite food, infinite clues. You can say which opponent's deck is the most powerful deck of all. So we'll just tap this, sack, 100 clues for the amount of cards in the opponent's deck. Let's say we have our Marchesa deck right here. So I got a second deck, and then you just say, I'm just gonna take the biggest and baddest permanent that you have, right? But non-land permanent card, and I believe the biggest and baddest permanent that I have is Bolus of Citadel, right there. So I would take Bolus of Citadel. Unfortunately, I played my land drop, so put this back in here. I'll take the biggest and baddest permanent from somebody else's deck. Could be a Blightsteel, whatever it is. Bolus of Citadel. I would play Economist Reach for 3 life. Here it gives me more lands. Let's get more for islands. More islands. I just bounce it out. Put Force in our hand here. Where's my hand? I lost it. I didn't even care. I don't care about it so much. I just totally lost it. Oh, right here. It's off screen. All right. So I'll do that. Pay 3 life. I can sacrifice 10 non-land permanents, which is I have a million clues, so I can sacrifice clues, deal 10 damage to each player. Sure, why not? Let's just sack a bunch of clues. Let's not sack it yet. I might have something useful. Gingerbread Crabbin. Okay, that stops our Bolus Citadel shenanigans here. Get our hand back here. Right here, we could Rise and Shine. They do not have haste. So we'll sack a bunch of clues. Do a bunch of damage. This is our end state here. We could actually play Shrieking Drake again for real mana, so we'll have 2 treasures. We have infinite of these, 2 treasures of these. I didn't know about this. This is an awesome combo. See, this is great. You discover things while playing EDH. We'll just return our... We can only get Crystal Shard with this. So we'll just return our Trophy Mage back to our hand. Right there. We have 3 mana to recast it, but we're just like, nah, we're not going to recast it. Actually, no. We just play Shrieking Drake again to get a treasure. And play Shrieking Drake one more time, get another treasure, return it back to hand. Let's keep Shrieking Drake safe in our hand. Hand. Go turn 5. We're just like, hey, we are winners here. Gingerbread Cabin, Hydroid Crisis. We'll play we don't have enough forest or Gingerbread Cabin to get our food, so we'll play our forest here. Now we can play Hydroid Crisis, immediately put it in the graveyard because X is 0. Team our Sabertooth. Right there, 4 life. Nature's Lore, we'll pay 2 life. Get our breeding pool into play. Finally, that's a breeding pool I wanted. Right there, Rhinewood. Let's get Rhinewood Falls into play, whatever. Too lazy to look for breeding pool. Shuffle the deck a little bit here. Don't forget that last card. It's important because you have Bolus of Citadel. Soul Ring. We'll just play the Soul Ring. Anyways, you see how this deck works. You see the cool combo we just found out right on the spot. And then we're just like, okay, do we want to go after a Marchesa deck or just tap, sacrifice our infinite clues, find the biggest baddie from somebody else's deck, maybe a Blightsteel Colossus, whatever it is, take it, put it on our battlefield, have fun. Omniscience, you can steal an Omniscience, whatever it is. Anyways, if you enjoy the deck tech, if you enjoyed Lonis, Clues, I told you this card is amazing right here. I love this card. Enjoy all the cool stuff, stealing. Give this video a thumbs up, smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be alerted for when I have new videos and such. Again, I have the deck list and TCG Player affiliate link in the description below. And as always, have a wonderful day.